Good afternoon. I'm Penny Wheeler. I am the president and CEO of Allina Health, and so fortunate to have Courage Kenny as part of our way of serving the community. On behalf of Allina Health and everybody here, we want to thank you for tuning into the Encourage Lunch virtual event, supporting Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute and the St. Croix arm of that institute. You know, Courage Kenny goes way back for me. I was a beneficiary of that, not personally, but watching my father take his first steps walking after he had had a stroke. And he got to walking fully, but it was because of the compassion and the talent of those at Courage Kenny. So I am so grateful for all that Courage Kenny does and all that's given to so many, including that experience where I watched my dad take his first steps after a stroke, and just flashback to him watching me taking my first steps years before. It's a special place with special people, in the St. Croix facility, and all of it does is just wonderful. I also have to thank the staff of Courage Kenny and Courage Kenny St. Croix for how creative they've been in dealing with and having people cared for during this pandemic time. It's been remarkable, and want to thank that. We are beyond grateful for the community of support that we have. We always say that our donor community is our margin of excellence, and how you support these facilities, especially for people who sometimes need them more than anybody, like this St. Croix facility, is just remarkable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your help provides our clients with the help they need, so that it's not about disabilities, but about abilities, and about pursuing healthy, fulfilling, and independent lives. And now I'm honored to introduce this afternoon's MC, Stillwater Mayor Ted Kozlowski. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for being here and supporting Courage Kenny St. Croix.
Thank you, Dr. Wheeler, and thank you so much for joining us for the 13th annual Encourage event presented by our friends at RBC Wealth Management. Up until this year, this event has been the Encourage Breakfast. Now it's my pleasure to welcome you to the first ever virtual Encourage Lunch. Wow, what a year. As the mayor of Stillwater, I've seen the daily challenges folks in our community have been facing due to the pandemic and unfortunately social unrest. Thank you for joining us to rally around an important resource in our community during these challenging times. While we miss not being in person today, we are so glad to be together virtually to make a difference for children, adults, and families by supporting the services of Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute, St. Croix. Please say hello, comment on the program, or ask a question in the chat feature throughout our time together. We would love to hear from you. To do this, click on the Join the Chat button on the event website. Go ahead and give it a try. Over the next half hour, you'll hear incredible stories from Courage Kenny clients. These stories are always a highlight of the event, and you will not be disappointed today. We've all had to change our way of life over the last several months. Courage Kenny was no different. What's really quite remarkable is how the staff has doubled down on their commitment to helping clients continue to be active and achieve their goals during these extra challenging times. Whether it's the virtual services and appointments or the way in-person services have slowly and safely been returning, I know that Courage Kenny St. Croix clients are receiving the very best care. As a resident of the Valley, I'm personally very grateful to have Courage Kenny St. Croix as a resource in our own community. For us, for my wife and I, and for my kids, it's where they learned how to swim. And I'll never forget that first time I stuck a toe in that really warm 92-degree pool. I think it's about 92 degrees. And it was absolutely wonderful, and just being so kindly welcomed by staff and our instructors throughout the organization. It's been absolutely wonderful. No other organization in our local community has the range of services that Courage Kenny provides for people with disabilities and chronic health conditions. You have likely heard about Courage Kenny's physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy services. Courage Kenny also shines in the area of community-based services. Whether it's the 92-degree therapeutic warm water pool, accessible fitness center, fitness classes, or driver assessments and training, Courage Kenny is the community resource for all rehabilitation needs. The Encourage Lunch is Courage Kenny St. Croix's largest fundraising event of the year. What you might not know is that community programs like the pool, fitness center simply would not exist without the generosity of our community. Today, we invite you to be part of reaching our event goal of $125,000 in support of Courage Kenny's in-person and virtual services. Now remember, you can donate at any point during our program. It's really easy, even I did it. One way to donate is to use the text to give option. Type "Give to Courage" number 2 in your text message, then send the text to the number 41444. Again, 41444. You will automatically receive a text message with a link to donate. You can also make your gift by clicking on the donate button located on the Encourage Lunch event website. Now I'm thrilled to introduce Fitness and Aquatic Coordinator Holly Jagir and her friend and client Bonnie, both of whom have been part of the Courage Kenny St. Croix community for many, many years.
Thanks, Ted. I am so happy to be here with all of you for this year's now Encourage Lunch. I have worked at Courage Kenny in the Fitness and Aquatics department for 23 years. And when the pandemic closed our fitness and aquatic programming, we really wanted to continue to support our clients, who most of them were now kind of stuck at home. And we created and started offering a virtual exercise class 2 days a week. That has just been great participation in that class. And I've asked one of our clients who I've known for 20 years and who attends my virtual class to join us. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Holly. Thank you for having me coming to your virtual lunch, Encourage Lunch today. I have attended the Encourage Breakfast for many years, and I'm just happy to be here.
Bonnie, why don't you share what first brought you to Courage Kenny St. Croix?
I came to Courage St. Croix in the year 2000 when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. And I started with physical therapy and then worked into the fibrosize class. It really was an answer to my prayer. Everything fell into place and I began to heal and feel better. Over the years, I have been involved in many aspects of Courage Kenny with different types of therapy and exercise classes. I've known you, Holly, for a long time because you have taught the fibro class and a number of other things I have taken. When the pandemic hit, I have to say I was devastated because it was a loss of routine for me to go to exercise 2 times a week and to be with the friends who understood and accepted me. I was filled with a lot of anxiety, and I found it was about that time when I found out about the virtual classes, and I signed up for one and then the other because they are fun. I can see Holly and my other friends, and the music is really nice because it helps me to move better.
And many clients have shared how much these classes have meant to them, not only just something to look forward to each week and have on the calendar, but also just being with other people and exercising together. Our class averages about 14 participants per time, and while our other programming was closed, these classes were offered for free. We are now going to continue offering them because they were so well received and just such a great hit. They will be offered now for a small fee. And the interesting thing is that clients really shared not only the physical benefits, but really just the mental health benefit of coming together for that class as well. Would you agree, Bonnie?
I absolutely would agree that it's really important for me to see other people's faces. In fact, when I saw yours for the first time, Holly, I nearly cried. Courage has made it possible for me to stay healthy and strong because I already am a volunteer for the University of Minnesota Master Gardeners. I have a very large garden of native plants, a very busy family with a lot of activities in spite of the COVID-19 with 11 grandchildren. There have been many challenges over the years, but I've oftentimes relied on Courage Kenny to be that support, not only of my physical benefits, but of my emotional health too. I am so grateful for their continued support and work for people like me who have physical challenges.
Thank you, Bonnie, so much for sharing your story with us. Will I see you Thursday at virtual class?
Yes, I will love to be there.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Holly and Bonnie. I'm grateful that throughout this pandemic, the staff has been so committed and creative in finding ways for clients to stay active and connected. We have an exciting announcement. If you are a first-time donor to Courage Kenny St. Croix, or if your gift meets one of the other criteria, your gift will be matched through a generous $100,000 matching grant from the Catherine B. Anderson Fund of the St. Paul and Minnesota Foundation. Our presenting sponsor, RBC Wealth Management, has been a longtime friend of Courage Kenny. We are very grateful for RBC's continued leadership as the presenting sponsor. Here to say a few words on RBC's behalf is my friend Mark Krantz from the Stillwater branch of RBC Wealth Management. Mark is also a member of the Courage Kenny Board of Directors.
Thank you, Ted. RBC is happy to once again be the presenting sponsor for the Encourage event this year. This is the 8th year that RBC has had the honor of being the presenting sponsor. My experience with Courage Kenny goes back many years as a client, and for the past 2 years as a board member. I appreciate very much the opportunity to give back to my community. Thank you again for supporting this wonderful charity, and we look forward to many great events in the future.
Thank you, Mark, for RBC's leadership and commitment to making a difference and for your own service to Courage Kenny. Now let's recognize our other sponsors. We are grateful to our Abilities sponsors, the Anderson Corporation and the Stillwater Eagles. We are very grateful for our Compassion sponsors, Boutwell's Landing and First National Bank of River Falls. And thank you to our Hope sponsors, Associated Eye Care, Cheryl and Lyle Chaka, Dojo 5, First State Bank and Trust, the Lakeview Foundation and Stillwater Medical Group, and Twin Cities Ortho. Thank you to all of our sponsors and everyone who has already donated in support of today's events. Now it's a privilege to welcome Patty Raddick, the Rehabilitation Manager of Courage Kenny St. Croix.
Thank you so much, Ted, for emceeing today's event and for supporting our work. Courage Kenny has been part of this community for 32 years, something that would not be possible without the partnership of people like you. One thing that will never change, even in the midst of a pandemic, is our commitment to the best possible care and outcomes for our clients. Our number one priority is helping clients be fully engaged in the community and living as independently as possible. In mid-March, things changed drastically for our clients and staff. In response to COVID-19, initially, we were only able to see essential therapy clients, which in most cases were those who had just had surgery. As the spring went on, we increasingly added virtual services, including virtual therapy appointments and virtual fitness classes. Over the summer, we were able to begin opening up more of our in-person services, including increasing our capacity for in-person therapy sessions, the reopening of our fitness center in late July, and the reopening of the pool in August. All decisions around increasing our in-person services have been and will continue to be guided by Allina Health's Safe Care commitment. Safety for our clients, staff, and volunteers is foremost. Clients have shared that they feel comfortable with the safety protocols we have in place. We also remain committed to offering virtual options for therapy appointments and classes. We have a wonderful group of clients, staff, volunteers, donors, and partner organizations who all make Courage Kenny St. Croix a truly amazing community. I have been with Courage Kenny for more than 20 years, but this year our work has become more personal to me. My good friend Paul received services through the Transitional Rehab Program in Golden Valley and then transitioned to outpatient services in Stillwater. Sadly, he recently lost his battle with cancer way too soon. It is an honor to now introduce you to my good friend and a great member of the St. Croix community, Tom DeGree. Tom was my daughter's 4th grade teacher and definitely one of her all-time favorites.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on your side of the table supporting nonprofits like Courage Kenny and their mission. On October 26th last year, I was in an accident that changed my life and put me on this side of the table. I want to tell you a little bit about my story and how Courage Kenny saved my life. After 48 days in the hospital, we did have questions and we did have to make a decision. And Dean and I had to make a decision on where I was going to go to get treatment or care after the hospital 48 days. I knew when I was a paraprofessional working with students, we used to bring our students to the pool here. So I had knowledge of knowing it had a pool, and I love swimming. Little did I know that they were going to be basically servicing me all different levels. February came and I was able to get my prosthetic. Courage Kenny was able to help me with driving. With my right foot being gone, I had to take courses with Kathy Woods through the behind the wheel here. And so I was able to get the behind the wheel training, and she brought me into the driver's ed testing area, and I was able to test and get my car past the new license test because of the training with Kathy Woods, and then also get my car modified, which gives me huge because now I have mobility and I can get out and do things because of that training. So then after all of those things and moving forward, I knew I just couldn't go out on my own, and I found that the Stay Fit program at Courage Kenny met my needs. So right now I currently come twice a week and work with Jared in the Stay Fit program, so I'm able to get training by people who understand, people who have had accidents, who have disabilities, but also to get personal training to help me improve. So when I look at all the difference from beginning to end, when I started here in December and we're sitting here in September, I think I've used pretty much all the different components at Courage Kenny. So it's an amazing thing of like coming to one place and being able to get everything and feel a part of a place. Like I said earlier on, I was never on this side of the table. You know, I was always the person that was showing up with the check to support. But now that I've been on the other side, I realize how important it is to have places like this and support places like Courage Kenny because of the fact of the people that it helps. The money that you donate through the Encourage Lunch is going to be supporting people like myself who never knew they were going to be in this situation. This isn't a situation that I ever thought a year ago that I would be in. So I'd just like to thank you today for once again joining us and once again donating and giving to Courage Kenny.
Thanks so much to Tom for sharing his story. Now, to help me with an important moment in our program, I'd like to introduce Peter Verstegen, who has been part of the Courage Kenny St. Croix community for many, many years.
Thank you, Ted. I'm honored to be here. Courage Kenny St. Croix means so much to me. For about 29 years, I've been a client at Courage Kenny St. Croix. My wife and I first visited Courage for an open house in 1988. The accessibility of Courage impressed me then, and it does today. Dedicated handicap parking spaces, motion-activated front doors, a wheelchair ramp into the warm water pool. A community of clients grew around it. Friendships developed. I was awestruck that someone had planned an accessible facility with aquatic, recreational, speech, physical therapies, and accomplished the fundraising to make it happen. Throughout most of my paralysis, Courage Kenny has been part of my life. In 1988, I used forearm crutches from a spinal cord injury. A motor vehicle accident in 1968 had paralyzed me from the waist down. I emerged from rehab with polio-style long leg braces, left Iowa, and resumed my college education. As nerves regrew, I moved to light plastic short leg braces, plus a single cane. Crutches and a wheelchair came later, as nerves atrophied and age increased the complexities of managing the injury. The therapists at Courage Kenny St. Croix have taught me to deal with these challenges. To open Courage Kenny, a group of visionaries invested to make it what it is today, helping people achieve health and wellness by offering some excellent services and innovative therapies. The pandemic of 2020 caused some programs to become virtual. The first day the pool reopened, I was there, exercising in that warm water. It felt so good to be back. Today, we're asking you to invest in the future of Courage Kenny St. Croix's clients.
Thank you, Peter. As we mentioned earlier, the Encourage Lunch is Courage Kenny St. Croix's largest fundraiser of the year. Your support today will make it possible for Courage Kenny to continuing to offer both in-person and virtual services and programs during this extra challenging time. Making your gift today is easy. One option for donating is to text Give to Courage. That's Give number 2 Courage to the number 41444. You will then automatically receive a text message with a link to donate. If you are viewing the program on the Encourage Lunch website, you can also make your gift by clicking on the donate button. I'm excited to announce that Chuck and Mary Keister, who are longtime supporters of Courage Kenny St. Croix, are making a gift of $10,000 right now to kick off our giving.
Thank you so much to Chuck and Mary. We need the participation from each of you to help us reach our goal of $125,000. Whether your gift is $5,000, $500, or $50, or whatever you choose, know that you are making a difference. Thank you for giving as generously as you are able. If you are a first-time donor to Courage Kenny St. Croix, or if your gift meets one of the other criteria, your donation will be matched through a very generous $100,000 matching grant from the Catherine B. Anderson Fund of the St. Paul and Minnesota Foundation.
We appreciate each and every gift. Now it is my pleasure to introduce you to 2 Courage Kenny Kids clients, Mabel and Scarlett.
Well, here's Miss Mabel. She's almost 5 now. Last time you all saw her, she was about 2.5, and when she was in the Courage program a couple of years ago, she was starting to work on sitting independently and standing with support, and now she's able to actually sit on her own for as long as like 10 to 12 minutes at a time, sometimes just a few minutes. So it's pretty exciting to see. Courage Kenny is almost like an extended part of our family, really. Mabel's therapists know her well, they know us as a family. She's not just there to do some exercises for 45 minutes. She's there to help build independence and strength that'll help her function in the world. Mabel herself is a big sister now. We have Shelby, who's 2.
Shelby enjoys climbing up into Mabel's wheelchair and getting paraded around the house. And of course, when Shelby does that, then Audrey likes that too. So all 3 girls are kind of, finding ways to find commonality and similarities in what they do. The disabilities that Mabel has kind of fade away during that time. They all become just kids watching, YouTube or whatever. So it's kind of fun.
I think she's lucky to have them in her life. Wow!
My name is Scarlett.
Good job. Can you tell me a little bit more?
I am 6 years old.
So that is Scarlett. She's going to be starting kindergarten here in just a couple of weeks. The last time that we kind of shared Scarlett's story, she was still working on crawling on her hands and knees. She was working on sitting balance in chairs and on the floor. So to look back on a video from 4 years ago and see her pulling herself, and now she can sit here in a reverse walker and do obstacle courses all by herself, and she's completely independent walking with her walker. She likes to be independent. She likes to tell us what she wants and doesn't want, whether it's through pointing things or trying to verbalize with some kind of sounds or using her talker. She's just very opinionated, and back then she kind of just let us take care of everything for her. Scarlett is being seen in OT, PT, and speech, all 3, getting her ready for kindergarten. So Scarlett loves going there every single day. She loves seeing her therapist, and she thinks of them as friends. She knows exactly where to go. She walks in the door and tries to go back to their rooms. Courage Kenny is a part of our family.
Thank you so much to Mabel and Scarlett and their families. What an inspiring lunchtime this has been, and thank you, Peter, for being part of our program today and for being such a great advocate for Courage Kenny.
If you haven't yet had a chance to make your contribution, there's still time. Please take a moment to do so now. And Please invite your friends and colleagues who weren't able to tune in today to visit the Encourage Luncheon website and learn more and donate. On behalf of myself and the thousands of others who benefit from the services and programs at Courage Kenny St. Croix, we are so grateful for your support.
We truly cannot thank you enough for joining us today and making a difference for children and adults with disabilities and chronic health conditions. As we conclude our program, here's a message from Courage Kenny St. Croix clients and staff. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for supporting Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute.
Gracias. Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for donating to Courage Kenny Rehabilitation.